Okay, 5:35. I'm calling the meeting to order. First order of business, we need a note taker. Do we have one?
I can, I'm happy to do it if I can remember how to do it, how to
Can
get
you get up?
to the notes.
Yeah, can you get? I've got them up there in the minutes directory of our Google Drive.
Is this the one I'm looking at, the draft? I'm just editing the draft notes.
Yep, that's what you do. You edit the draft notes live.
Looks like Laura's already started. Laura, you want to do it?
Yeah, I don't mind either
Oh,
way.
okay.
Okay,
It doesn't matter. I put him in the link in the chat too. I did
Okay.
it last time, so I don't know if I'll be able to remember how to do it correctly, but
oh, just put stuff up there. Basically, minute taking is
okay.
fairly easy. We've got a list of people who might be here.
Yeah.
We take off people who are not here, although so far I would say don't take Steve off quite yet. He may yet show up.
Okay.
Um, we can take the people off kind of at the end. Basically, the things that we must do to have minutes is we must record any official actions that we take, who moved something, and the disposition of any motion that we make. Other than that, we have traditionally tried to record any to-do items or any major things of major import. We do not try to capture every aspect of conversation and that sort of thing. If there's something that sounds very exciting and that everybody may want to know a bit about, be able to track it down later, that's fine. Otherwise, leave it sit. So the two things are really actions, who moved, disposition of the vote, and any to-do items are the two most important for us. So that's great. Thank you so much. So we'll call Lori the note taker and go from there. So let's see what else I've got on my list. I'm saying we are continuing to operate under the presumed rules for remote meetings. Has been advertised and so on. So we're meeting remotely and remotely only. My next question is, are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none, we won't adjust the agenda. We can move on from there to the public comment period. I don't see any public at all. The night does look pretty nice, but it's not exactly badminton quality, but we'll take it anyway. So maybe people are just out doing something else. So with no public comments, we can move on from there. Let's see, what have I got on my next list? Committee review minutes, review and approve minutes. Has anybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the last time? The draft minutes from, what is it, February 14th, Valentine's Day, when we met.
I kind of went in them and highlighted the actions in yellow that we had and then that weren't completed yet, and then I went back in them and highlighted the ones that were completed in red. So I didn't know if that would help us stay on task, but I did do that.
Well, that sounds good. I won't complain about that. Let me see if I can find that on my thing here. See if I can see. I did minutes from the last one. Oh, okay. Wait, I don't see anything in red.
There was only one
Oh,
red.
okay.
It was Ravi sending me the Katie White
Okay.
contact information.
Yeah, I'm not exactly seeing that, but I think Steve has got you. I think part of it may be due to the fact that you were commenting last time, and I think you have full access this time. I asked Steve to make sure he did that, so let's try it out and see what happens. Because I know that obviously you should be. So we'll go with that. Does anybody have any corrections or changes to the minutes as presented? Can I have a motion?
I move to accept the minutes as presented.
A second if we
Any
need
one. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
one.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are accepted as posted. So that said, now let's see what else I got here. I know I've got something else on the list. The next item I had recommended or suggested was committee operations. Am I looking at the right thing? I think I'm not looking at the right thing. That's why I'm having trouble. Let's see here now. February 14th, committee operations. Yes, no. Can this possibly be right? 313.
I don't know if it's helpful, but I can share my screen while I take notes. I just need the organizer to make me the presenter.
Okay, let me see about doing that. Now, as I recall, doing that required, I think, here, members,
And then you can kind of follow what I have up on the screen.
Lori, make presenter. Make Lori the presenter. Yes, Lori, you are now the presenter.
Great. So if you want to go back to, I can share the minutes from last week. But since we've already accepted them.
I think we're fine with that. I don't
Okay.
think we need to do anything with that. So anyway, we are now. So I had a few items on here. One was the name change business. We had quite a discussion with. I've had a bit of a discussion with Sandy Wilmot from the from planning, and the recommendation was that we not try to do that because we wind up sort of bigfooting all around and lots of different levels of activity and that sort of thing. Just stick with being an energy committee for now. We can talk about whether we want to integrate more closely with people on that in terms of activities, but there seemed to be little impetus for doing that, and I thought I would bring that back to the committee in that form. I just thought I'd open that up for any discussion at this point.
That seems fine to me. I'm not. I'm fine with sticking with Energy Committee. Really, it really only matters what we're doing, I think. So.
Right, exactly. That's basically it, and we already have climate activities in our mission. It's not like we don't touch on it or anything like that. So as I recall, we do anyway. So I don't think we need to do a whole lot on that. But I think mission would be more important than name in any case if we wanted to mess with that. It's our activities that are important more than the name, I think. So do we agree we can kind of leave that alone and pass it up? Okay, we'll do that. Nobody's objecting anyway. So that said, I did want to have a brief discussion about membership. One was Amanda has made it apparent, has brought to my attention that Steve's term is up as of this year. I did get in touch with Steve. Steve is willing to maintain his membership for the time being. He may need to resign before the term is out, or may feel that would be the best course for him. But he's willing to keep going for now and keep doing what he does, and I am very grateful for that. I tend to pass that along to the powers that be to reappoint him for this. So, caller one, who are you? Caller one ain't talking. Just listening. Okay. Anyway, welcome, caller one. If you want to have any comments, please let us know, or want to raise your voice or whatever.
Yeah, it's me. It's Jerry.
Oh, Jerry, hi. How are you?
I can't get it on the go-to meeting.
Weird. Robbie, I think, or Dwight had a problem with that too. Robbie maybe also. I don't know, but it's here and we're on.
That's going in off of the email, Jerry.
What, Robbie?
I went in off of the email, the address that was in the email, not the minutes, and I was able to get in that way.
Let's
Okay.
try it again, but
Okay, give it a shot. See what happens, Jerry. You don't have to get your caller off to try it up. You can hang up when you get on if you do. Okay, that said, as I said, Steve has indicated that he was willing to continue. I'm glad for it, and it's my intention to pass him along. I assume no one has any objection to Steve continuing to participate with us. So I feel that's a pretty safe assumption. So I'm happy to go with that. That said, though, I wanted to also talk about, we have in the past talked about youth involvement, potential youth membership. Maybe now is not the time to talk about it so much. I know that we have a youth engagement coming up in our program things where that will come up more. So with your permission, I'd like to defer any discussion of that until incorporate that in that. But I'm hoping that we can at least talk about that. I know we have in the past. So with your permission, I will move on to whatever comes up next, which in this particular case is, holy smokes, there we go. Program updates. Okay, community solar. I was hoping that Steve would be doing most of this, but obviously he's not here to do it. So I will endeavor to report on this. As you may recall, we have a meeting coming up on the 19th. Steve is planning to put together a very brief presentation that we can give to folks. He's also said he would be putting the Front Porch Forum announcement in. I'm hoping that people would be interested in coming to that. I will report a little bit more in the town hall tabling business, but we did have a few people ask about it and pick up our flyer for it at the town meeting table, and so I think we would be in a position to have some people seem quite interested in coming. So.
Michael, that meeting is the 23rd, right? Not the 19th of this month?
I'm pretty sure it's the 19th. I think it's the 23rd. Right, 23rd is April meeting. And this meeting is the 19th, which is this coming Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Steve has reserved the library for us. I guess the library has a projector and we can do a very brief kind of PowerPoint on that and stuff. And I think we're going to be able to do it in the fireplace room. Just introduce people to the idea, let people ask questions, answer them as best we can, see if we can drum up some interest for when we have actual people there from the installers there. See if somebody.
Hey, Michael?
Yes.
This is Jerry. You got to ask me to join the meeting.
I've got to ask you to join the meeting.
Yeah.
Nobody else had to do that. People.
No.
I've got no indication that you're. Oh, caller one is here. I'm not seeing. Oh wait, session unlocked. Invite. Let's see what I can do. Please join my meeting. Oh, this is to invite people, not.
You should probably hang up if you're trying to join through your laptop, or because it's going to make you join twice and then you're going to echo.
But Jerry he's in as caller one, but we can't get him in as. I see no indication on my screen that someone is trying to get in.
What's your email address? I'm going to forward you the email right now.
I used GoToMeeting.
Sounds like Lori is sending it to you, so that might work.
Jerry Adams, is that right? Is that your name?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sending it to you right now, so just check your email. And then you just want to scroll down and click on the link. But Jerry, you want to hang up first before you join through your computer.
Okay. Hang up my cell phone?
Yeah, hang up your phone. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Unidentified caller has left, and we'll try to come back as identified person on screen. So we'll see if that works out. I don't know what's going on tonight. Some cyber gremlin has got at us or something. But anyway, that said, so we've got the program up and running. Steve is putting the announcement in. I'm hoping that people will be able to show up for it to help support our activities, at least some of them. I mean, I'm planning to be there, and Steve is planning to be there. If anyone else can, that will be great. We'll see what we can do with it. Any questions or comments?
I will be on vacation in Virginia next week, so I will not be there.
Okay, we won't look for you, Dwight.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question. The
Yes.
landowner mailing, what is that?
Well, at one point, we were hoping to make some specific identifications, but I think that we've just decided to go with Front Porch Forum. We thought we would try to get a mailing list of people from the grand list and so on and so forth. And I think it mostly fell by the wayside for lack of bandwidth on the part of members. So,
Okay.
but
this
I
is-
think that, yep.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think that we'll probably get as good a results as we're going to get with the Front Porch Forum announcement and a follow up probably Monday, since it's on a Tuesday that we'll have it.
But it's next
But
Tuesday, right?
it is this coming Tuesday, less than a week from today.
So when do
So-
those announcements have to be put in for? Are they instant for Front Porch Forum?
Right, it'll go in as soon as we submit it. Steve said he was going to do it hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we'll follow up again. But I know he had some medical things that he had to deal with tonight. So obviously he couldn't be here, at least initially. He may not be here at all. So we'll see how that goes. So there is that, and we will proceed with it. Any further questions or comments? Okay, moving right along. Next item up is weatherization. I know that Dwight and John in particular, and Jerry, if he ever manages to make it back, have been making marvelous strides in that. I know Jerry is anxious to participate in that more than he has. At least he's conveyed that to me. But anyway, Dwight, I didn't know if you wanted to have a brief discussion about what's going on there and where we stand with that.
Well, we've done a few, and what's challenging is getting folks, as I've said before, getting folks to. Must be Jerry back again.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Looks like it.
Also, Graham's in the
No
notes,
picture.
but he's not in the meeting.
Right. He obviously is not here right now, so I'm assuming he's not going to make it.
He's in the notes, though.
In the notes, what does that mean?
Like he's looking at the notes.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Hmm.
I don't know. Well, we'll let Graham lurk in the notes if he likes.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a scheduling issue with getting the clients. I'm trying to work through the list, the oldest to the newest, but I think I'm going to send out emails to various people, and if they don't respond quickly, I'll move on to the next one just so we can get folks done. Because there's 4 on the list that are just scheduling challenges, and I wanted to do it in order so we get our oldest first, but I think we need to move beyond that. And so I know that John, like some folks can do Sunday. Those are the days. If anybody has another day that they would like to schedule, and who wants to participate in those, send me an email about what days you can participate. The next day that I'm going to be doing them is Friday, the last Friday of the month. I know that's challenging for John, but Jerry should be available. If anybody else is available, just let me know. I'll look to do one in the morning of that Friday and one in the afternoon after lunch.
But if
Yeah, I
we
was going
can,
to ask you. Oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry, Laura. I was just going to
Okay.
say, if we can double up these on the weekends, I mean, that's even better. I don't know.
Yep.
For me, I'd rather set aside, 6 hours on one day, than 3 hours on 2 days, 3 to 4 hours on each of two separate days.
And that's what I've been trying to do is double up some on Friday and double up some on the Saturday or Sunday. One time a month, that's 4 a month, which is probably my limit. And it's just a matter of getting the folks. And once we get more people comfortable doing the process, we can open it up to more time frames. Just not sure.
Do you think we should send out another Front Porch Forum? So remember last time, I mean, because we are coming into spring and we talked about how once it starts to get warmer, no one's going to want to do this, right? So I wonder if now would it be a bad time while there's still snow on the ground to send out another announcement?
We still have like, because I was trying to get the oldest ones out of the way. We still have like 8 people that we have not contacted yet. So
Yeah, okay.
what I don't want to get into is like what Jerry described before, is people being on a list and never getting served. So I'd rather keep the list short and serve them, and then add some new ones.
So, sorry, one other thing, and we could talk about this offline too, but have you, I mean, maybe have you, because I haven't, after we contacted them the initial time, have you followed up with all of them? Because maybe it's a good idea that, say, once every month or so, we send them a reminder email, just like, hey, we're still waiting, we still have you in mind, but we're still scheduling, that sort of thing. Just so that they know they're on a list still.
I mean, we can do that too. Yeah. And I may send it out and what, as a, hey, we're looking to get you scheduled, what day works kind of thing. So we can maybe design around that.
I mean, I can do that. You and I can talk about this later, but I'm happy to do all that stuff, just to go in there and send them little reminders every now and then.
If I could just make a suggestion, you could send them out like a Calendly invite, and you can specify times and dates that they can pick. So it kind of reduces that back and forth of like, when are you available, blah, blah, blah. But if you just create that calendar link for them, and you can say, okay, we can come at this time, we can come at this time, we can come at this time. And then it might even automatically remind them to actually pick a date. But yeah, like there's definitely technology out there that you guys can use that might make scheduling a little easier. I think it's called Calend, something like that. Let me Google it. And I'm pretty sure.
Even I don't know, like a doodle poll or something like that, right?
So it's like you create your calendar, you send it to them, and they pick the time and date that works for them that you made available.
I see. Calendly.
Calendly, yeah, I think that's what. Easy scheduling ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I would that's what everyone uses now, honestly, for scheduling stuff. And it's great. And then you can just, you put all your information in it, and you might even be able to set it up so it reminds them to pick a time. And maybe you can put like a time limit on it. Like if you don't pick a time within a month, basically we're going to move on, or I don't know, something like that.
Cool. I'm doing it right now.
I see Graham has joined us. Welcome, Graham. We thought maybe you were lurking in the minutes, Graham. So okay.
So this is,
So we're going to be. I'm sorry.
yeah, this is Jerry. Is this going to be on that spreadsheet, the scheduling for the audits?
It sounds like it's going to be a calendar app of some ilk.
I'll set it up, Jerry, so that we can all view it live. You know, if anything, I'll give you a link so you could look at it anytime. It'll probably be easier than the way that we're doing it.
I've been keeping an eye on that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Technology. It's leapfrogged me already. Okay. Are we good with this? I guess we'll declare that we're good with this. I would like to move on to the Town Hall Solar one. Very quick report on that one. I was sort of charged with trying to do something about something on this. I did encounter Brad at the town meeting, and we talked about it a bit. And there is considerable interest in getting together with the solar group and Seth and Tom to sort of basically work out dimensions and what kind of sizes and shapes we need and that kind of thing. Work out the details so we'll be able to do it. I sent Brad an email requesting some time on that and got a response back that basically he'll get back to me. I sent it to him last week or something like that, and right after town meeting, and he has responded that he'll get back to me within a few days. So I hope that I'll be passing along a meeting that we'll be able to do with some members of the solar group to figure out what we need to do with respect to making everything work together. There seems to be considerable enthusiasm for actually making this work. So it's in the pipeline, and I am waiting to hear from Brad when we might be able to do something. I will be back to the solar group when we can. Any further comments or questions? Oh, ARPA deadlines is in here. I don't know if I reported back to everyone, but basically we do need to have this project obligated, which I gather in this particular instance means that the select board has budgeted it this year. This year is the drop dead year for budgeting it. 26 is the drop dead year for actually completing it. So, but we do need to get it budgeted and in the pipeline this year. Otherwise, we lose.
So, Michael, is this a calendar year or is this a
calendar year?
Fiscal year. Yeah.
Calendar year. So December 31st, 2024. We need to have it in the pipeline.
Got it.
Good. Any other questions?
I think as far as the generator stuff, we made some sort of a commitment to the generator providers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's been budgeted. This is this one I don't think has been, everything I'm pretty sure has been budgeted except for this one. I'm not totally sure what the budget status is on it. Everything else is budgeted now. We just have to get it done by 2026, the end of the calendar 2026. So, any other questions or comments? Okay, moving right along. We're zipping right through this, and that's just fine with me. For the education and outreach activities, I wanted to just do a brief debrief of the town meeting table activities. I personally, I was there, Robbie and I were there pretty much all day. Robbie, you can correct me if I'm talking out of turn or anything else, but basically I was pretty happy. People stopped by, people were talking, people were picking up our handouts, people were taking a look at what we had to offer. We didn't get any specific signups for anything, but I thought we did get considerable interest. Robbie, do you want to add anything or subtract anything from that?
Yeah, I mean, that was my first experience at town meeting day and at our table. I thought it went well. I mean, it wasn't heavy traffic by any means, but I think it's a good stepping stone. And it sounds like we had more interest this year than maybe last year, Michael. So if that's the
I
case,
think
we're certainly
so.
trending in the
Yeah.
right direction. So I
Right.
thought it
And
was worthwhile.
yeah, I thought so too. And I think we did a little bit more in terms of attracting attention and providing information and that sort of thing. We can take a look at that, but my guess would be to go back next year, and get we'll pick up that stone when we come to it or something. So
Did you
okay,
did you say you got
yep,
signups?
Lori,
Did you say you had a sign up sheet?
we did, and nobody signed it. But we also had handouts for the activities, and in particular, several people picked up at least the solar write up. We're very interested in doing that, and that has the dates of the meetings and everything on it. And so that there was some interest in that. So okay. That said, the next one I wanted to touch on was the schools and youth engagement. I know last time Lori got kind of designated with trying to make some progress in this. We have been talking about it, and Lori, I hope you'll kind of backstop me on this a little bit. But I guess, Robbie, got Katie White's name for her, and I think she's been in touch with her, but we are having some question as to exactly how we're going to integrate this into the activity, and with respect to getting in touch with schools. There's some question is does anybody have any direct contacts in schools, people we might want to talk to or be able to talk to for engaging? Are there anybody know of any organizations, teachers that are particularly interested in this, classes that are covering it, principals who are, big excited about all of this? Anything along those lines? Let's see, what else was I thinking about? Well, that's a start. Well, the other thing that I would like to sort of throw into this discussion, we have at times discussed sort of trying to add some kind of youth member on our group, presumably an associate because of the sort of schedule that kids are on. We've got 3-year appointments, and that means that we would be picking somebody up in sophomore year, and they would be following it through senior year or something. And I don't know how practical that really is. But in any case, I was wondering if anyone had any thoughts, any specific knowledge. And Lori, I don't know if you wanted to add anything, or as I say, subtract anything from what I said.
Michael, this is John, actually.
Yes.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I wonder if we wouldn't have better luck if we could, instead of just inviting somebody to just kind of sit on the committee. I mean, if we had some sort of specific activity we could propose for them, because just coming to sit on there is so open-ended. If we had some
Mm-hmm.
sort of, I don't know, like a school project, right, that this person would then kind of lead. And what that is, I have no idea, right? But some community awareness thing about the solar project or something like that. I feel like maybe, I wonder if we wouldn't have better luck than getting some engagement that way. I don't know, just an idea.
I like that, John. It's kind of the same thing with internships, right? You sort of have that direction that you're going to point them to. So
Right.
they're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, thinking how
Right.
boring these adults are.
Well, and, they don't know what they're signing up for, right? We say, well,
Right.
just come on for the committee. And so if we were able to say, come do this with the energy committee, like be a part of whatever, this community awareness project, or I don't know, whatever it might be. Maybe you could get a group of kids on one of those days when we're out of Browns River, that sort of thing. one of those things. I could see that possibly happening, right? Put them in an EV. They'll totally.
Do you have an EV, John? It's not going to be mine.
No, I don't
Not
yet.
gonna,
Yeah.
not going to have any Browns River middle school kids driving my EV. I'm trying to hold on to it for a little while yet.
Well, has anybody
Dwight.
Don't
anybody
drive it
actually,
down that road then. If you like your car, don't take it down Irish Settlement.
Okay, gotcha.
no, I was just wondering. I mean, has anybody checked with like Mount Mansfield to see if there's like a climate club or any of that stuff?
I think that's the next step. If we didn't like know any specific people that were in the faculty or knew any teachers or programs, I think the next step is probably I'm just gonna start cold calling.
So I was thinking, I don't have the timing for this, so I almost hate to suggest, but we can get students interested in if there's a climate club and we can get them interested in things at the schools, how to reduce, do various projects at the schools, like why do so many cars drive to school when there's bus service, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my pet peeves, but anyway.
Yeah, I started looking at the curriculum for the Mount Mansfield Unified Union School District, but that's as far as I got so far. But yeah, I don't mind calling and just
So
asking. It's not a problem.
one name I can throw out there is so Anton Kelsey, who's I think he's the head of the recreation committee actually, is one of the science teachers up at MMU. So, and I know he was the head of the astronomy club at some point. So, if he may be an easy one to contact.
That
Do
sounds
you have
like
his
a
contact
promising.
info?
Oh, actually, I don't, because he actually spoke at town meeting about specifically not putting his contact info up on the website.
So he probably wants to be left alone.
Yeah. Well, he didn't want he didn't want his personal email being put up on the Underhill Town website. So
Yeah, what he wanted was each of the committees to have a singular email, which is a great idea.
yeah.
I think we have one that is put on the
We have one.
website so that no personal emails are put out there, and that's what he was calling for, and I thought it was a great idea.
And I'm sure he has an MMU email account. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see.
Thanks.
Is there actually like an earth sciences class or something like that?
There was 5 years ago. I'm a little out of date, but there used to be. Like freshmen would take it. It was called IPS, Integrated Physical Science or something, as I recall.
I'm sure there's an environmental club in the high school.
Well, let's
Well,
find it.
and I'd be willing to do this at Mount Mansfield as well, and Browns River Middle School. I just spent 2 days teaching building science principles to 7th and 8th grade science kids at Middlebury Union Middle School for one of their science projects, which was kind of cool. I don't know if that's an option maybe that we can get into.
I think it sounds great, Dwight. Myself, I mean, it sounds like perfect kind of thing to me.
Yeah, I taught the same 25 class 7 times over 2 days, so a little.
Actually, we did it at the Browns River Middle School. It was springtime, and we had a guy come from a solar guy come. It was I can't think of his name. The guy that lives in Underhill Center, and we made little boxes with tinfoil in them and whatnot, all kinds of little demonstration projects. It was all outside. I don't remember who the contact was. It might have been Steve. Steve Webster was involved in it, but we also had somebody on the energy committee that's not in town anymore that was involved in it. But it was involved. It was aimed at the middle school kids.
Oh, Graham, you're way faster than me.
I mean, this sounds very promising to me. Okay, we'll pursue that. Excellent. And then there's the question of how and if we can ultimately integrate Veep in. I know when I looked into it, it sounded like they had some promising stuff, but until we have something more concrete, it sounds like that's probably not, not, I'm not sure how to do it, is what it amounts to. So,
From what I could kind of tell, and I could be wrong, but it looks like they help you with grants and with projects, but you have to submit the ideas to them first. Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like they end up doing. So they're probably a great resource for funding or even some kind of training resources or knowledge resources. But I think, we'd have to probably get a group together first that wanted to work on something or.
yeah. Yeah, I know when I looked into it a few years back, it looked very promising, but I didn't know how to make use of it. So I really like the idea of the group and that sort of thing. They had some interesting things on the table there. So, okay, so are we good with this? We've got some strategies here to maybe make a difference and see if we can do it. Good. Okay. That said, now the next item coming up is the event, the e-fair, and that sort of thing. Dwight, I know you had said you were going to try to look into that. I wouldn't be surprised because everything's quiet for the winter, but I didn't know if you had any thoughts or things you wanted to share at this point on this.
Well, I had reached out to South Burlington and specifically Tim Perrin, who was one of their energy committee members, also runs Vermont Gas's weatherization side, and they had needed to take a year-long break because it was such a heavy lift with the fair that they ran last year. So he has provided me with his notes, which I will send out. I will forward to everybody after this meeting with what their planning process was and stuff like that. So we at least have a start if we decide we're going to do this. But Tim did come with the warning that it is a fairly significant lift and it's all hands on deck kind of thing if we're going to do it. And it would make sense to do it with Jericho if we're going to do something like that.
Well, that will be coming up here in a moment. And there's also the thing and Catherine is very receptive to that. But the other question is, would it be worth reaching out even further to maybe Jeff Forward over in Richmond as well?
I don't know Jeff very well, so I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know. What do people think? I know Jeff quite well, and I'm certainly willing to touch base with him.
Can't hurt, Michael, right? Just to see if there's interest and.
Yep. Yeah, but that's my sense. But I want to see if people are on board with it.
I mean,
okay.
To Dwight's point, if this is going to be a heavy lift, I think.
Yeah, it will be significant, but I think the idea was, correct me if I'm wrong, that we would basically be building on our EV event. So we've already got, we've got 2 years under our belt for that, and we'd be looking to expand that. Now, to expand that into a full energy fair, that could be, it could be an order of magnitude kind of problem as opposed to a simple multiplier kind of problem, but we'll see how that goes. But
yeah, I attended South Burlington's and they had classes and workshops and food vendors and all of that kind of stuff, and it seems like a very large project. And the bike garage and Vermont Gas was there and GMP. They just had a lot going on. So, sorry, that's dinner.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gee, it's making me hungry, Dwight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep pursuing this now, Dwight. Also, I had heard I think Waterbury has a very strong reputation in that. Does that make any sense?
Yep. And I intend to go when they have theirs. I'll attend it and make some contacts and go from there.
Great.
Yeah, I think this is probably from what Tim said. I mean, we're talking a 12 to 18 month. If we want to make it successful and do it right, it's a 12 to 18 month commitment
Yep.
out of whoever the committee is.
Yep. I think that makes a certain amount of sense. Although, at least in theory, we're going to have to, if we're going to do it on a presumably annual basis, we need to turn it around in 12. But we don't necessarily. I mean, it could be because it started 18, as it were. But let's take a look and see if we can do anything with it. I'm game to at least take a look. We can build on this incrementally, kind of, getting bigger around the EV events, EV fair. Doesn't have to be, go from standing start to world class, world fair kind of thing. We can, start adding things to that. In a way, we did that last year when we went from just having a few EVs there to getting Dave Roberts and a few people and so on to give a talk over at the library and actually have a kind of a session associated with it. So we're kind of moving in that direction, and we can treat it as an incremental build as opposed to a giant leap kind of thing if we choose. So worthwhile, I think. Okay, we good with that? That said, we've got Jericho Farmers Market coming up. I think, Ravi, you had said you were going to look into the canopy and so on for us. Any progress on any of that?
Yeah, so I've looked into, I think my first go around was 5 different models. I think in 10 by 10 is a good size.
Yeah, that's
People
the
agree
size.
with
That's
that?
the size. That's the what we get there. So it better be.
Okay. So yeah, looking at 10 by 10s, I mean, you go the Cadillac, you're up to $500 plus, which we're not going to spend. If we want to go cheapo, we can get around $100, but I sort of found the sweet spot between 200 and $250, something like that. So I just wanted to throw it out there. If people are okay with that number, I'll pick a model and send it around and see if people give it the final thumbs up.
What color?
That's a fair question. I was leaning towards blue, but that was something I wanted to ask the group as well.
Do we
Thank
have
you,
like a
Lori.
color for the committee, or do we have a logo?
No.
We do not have a logo.
Okay.
My
But
wife
we
made
don't,
us a sign for town meeting, but that's about it.
does Underhill have like a mascot or colors? I don't know.
I think Jerry's the Underhill mascot.
Okay.
So the high school Lori is the Cougars. I think it's a combo of blue, white, gray, stuff like that.
Oh, so like blue maybe would be best then? I don't know.
All right, I'll pick something blue and I'll send it around and see what everybody thinks.
Yeah, and I'm good with that strategy for pricing and so on. Save us some money for a table and a couple of folding chairs will be all set. Sounds good to me. That said, I have put out an email to Elizabeth. I have not heard back from her. I'm not surprised. May 30th is the start, so I assume that the first we'd be interested might be June. Somewhere in there, we probably ought to think about a regular time. I know I spoke with Catherine and from Jericho, and they are interested in participating with us. I will say that our most successful event was the one where we had lots and lots of toys, electric mowers, especially electric riding mower, and so on. So I think maybe for at least one of the events, we ought to be looking at something like that to attract people in. But the more ideas people have for toys and show and tell and touch and play, I think the better. And and we can just basically plan to go with it. I will plan to attend most, if not all of them. Hopefully, I know we also had pretty good luck when we put up the big red door one time, and Dwight says he's got some fabulous ways to put it up besides the 12 by 12s that he put up there one to that last time that we had it up. So maybe it'd be easier to do.
Yeah, I've made a small frame that's much more portable, and we don't need a pickup truck to transport the frame. So,
Well, back of the bolt for sure.
well, I wouldn't go that far.
All right, all right. And not the back of the Prius either, huh?
Well, I'd hate to. It would probably downsize your range if we went with one of those.
Yeah, I suspect, but I haven't got far to go, Dwight. Okay, I'm hoping that a few people will be able to participate with us. When we have a few people, it's more fun. Although Jerry and I somehow manage to keep ourselves entertained. I don't know if I'm going to be able to suck him in every time like I did before, but it's always fun. So we'll go with it. I have e-bike on here, but there seems to be considerable disinterest in trying to work with e-bikes. Local Motion doesn't have the lending library anymore, and they've been a bear to work with. And it's kind of, I think we're just going to have to set that aside. It's kind of too bad, but that seems to be where we are. So, any further comments or thoughts around the farmers market? Okay, moving right along. Jericho Energy Task Force. I will say that I met with Catherine. Lori was able to join that meeting. I was very glad she was. Hopefully, she can keep me straight in terms of saying all the wrong things. But there's a lot of enthusiasm for working together on a number of things, including the energy fair, including the farmers market. I think we can probably piggyback onto some of their public items, like when they do movies and presentations and so on. They tend to do a lot more of that than we have done. But I think that if we just kind of know what's going on, that would be worthwhile. The one thing that I think we did talk about was the possibility of having at least one joint meeting when we can all A, get to know one another a little bit, and B, talk about what the opportunities and options are. The time that came up for that, Catherine suggested they were looking at a May meeting. There was going to be a presentation associated with that. A meteorologist who lives over in Jericho has a really cool meteorological site that I go to all the time. Connor LaHiff, you may or may not have run into him or know him, but anyway, he is going to do a brief presentation at that meeting, and Catherine suggested that might be a good opportunity for us all to get together and down at the Deborah Rawson Library, and who knows, maybe bring some pizza in or something, and just get to know one another and see what opportunities we had. I am open for discussion. Oh, by the way, before I do that, Lori, did you have anything you wanted to add or anything to that?
No, I mean, the only thing that kind of is going to be a hindrance is they don't have really any organization. They don't use any online, note sharing. And so, it's probably going to be more like a face-to-face kind of interaction to organize stuff. So that might make things a little bit difficult. But yeah, they seem kind of, not too interested in doing anything really, cloud-based communications or, maybe email. But like I couldn't look at any of their notes. I think, yeah, from what I
Great.
can remember from the meeting. So that's the only thing I kind of, observed as like being a potential setback of organizing with them.
Yeah, if we get down the road a bit and things start happening, we may have to look for ways to do that. I mean, all we really have to let them do is let them get onto our site. If we want to do that, and we could set up a special portion of it or something like that that they can get access to, and they may develop a taste for it. Who knows? So,
Yeah, yeah, but they don't have anything in place right now. So
right, exactly.
yeah, exactly. Yep.
Any thoughts? Any interest in going to a joint meeting with the Jericho Energy Task Force in May?
Who did,
Get out of the house?
who's on their committee now?
I mean, I know Catherine chairs it still. Phil Newbeck is on it. And I guess Peter Ehrlich is also on it. And there are a few people that I've met that I don't otherwise know them. I think I'm trying to remember whether Sabina Ernst may be on it, but I know she's on so many other things. I don't know if I'm just mixing her up with something else. Two guys I have met, and I don't remember who they are. One of whom was very interested in weatherization and that sort of thing, and so we've been sort of fending him off along the way. But also, since they are a task force, their membership and participation tends to be a little more fluid than ours. They're not appointed by the select board. People tend to coalesce and disperse around individual interests and activities as opposed to a much more formal structure, formal membership, appointed membership, specific requirements, terms, et cetera, et cetera. So they're a little looser, but by the same token, that means they have access to as many people as they want at some point. So, but I know Catherine has chaired it. I know Phil has been very active on it, and Peter has been very active on it. And at least two guys that I have encountered that I can't remember their names. So, any interest? Strong disinterest?
I'm happy to go. It's just just a scheduling thing usually for me. So if it's you're thinking Deborah Rawson?
Right, it would be at Rawson.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I can,
it can't
we
be
can
like
maybe,
at 12 p.m. on a Friday sort of thing.
right, that doesn't seem like a likely.
Don is
So I'll
anti
first,
Friday.
I missed that. Is that you, Dwight?
Yeah, John is anti Friday, so
John is anti-Friday, an anti-Friday guy.
yep.
Don't touch my Fridays kind of thing.
Can't get him to do nothing on Friday.
And
I'm
don't
not
mess with Friday. I got it. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wish I could do. Maybe I'll try to institute that particular dictum as well, but so far no go. But so I will get back to Catherine and say we're interested in doing that in May. Get some more information. And I have one vote for no Fridays. Any other
Yeah,
strong?
it can be a Friday. It just can't be at noontime when I'm at work, which is when
Okay,
Dwight schedules all these weatherization things.
Are you
I
committed to
got you.
work or are you committed to the climate? One or the other.
Which is it? Right. What's it gonna be? I will get back with Catherine and get back with everyone, see if we can negotiate a worthwhile time. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay, excellent. So we're done with that. We're up to, let's see, holy smokes, we're just tiny little bit ahead of schedule. Any member items, things that people want to talk about that I did not manage to get on the list? Exciting new developments, batteries that store gigawatt hours of energy and the size of a AAA or anything like that?
I will relay that we did. If you are, it's more of a safety awareness of understanding what product you're using. I think right after our last meeting, one of our young crew members got a free facial, fire facial, and that he was using a single part foam that has propane as a propellant next to a gas hot water heater. Apparently, he achieved lower explosive limit in that cabinet of propane. And when the water heater called for hot water, he went from a monobrow to a dual brow by free. And the only reason I joke about it is because he was not hurt. But we did have a fire, and they reacted very quickly and got it out. But yeah, we have to be careful when we're picking our products and
I was going to
seeing.
say, Dwight, is there any reason that someone would use propane for propellant?
You're going to find that
Very,
So we then went and did
very
a
common.
extensive, wide search for, and this is in the small cans, the 1 pound can with the flexible. It can be a flexible straw applicator or the guns that we use. We try not to use them because they're wasteful and they use a lot of resources, and you can't get all out of words. We use a 16-pound can. We went out there to look, and almost we couldn't find a can that was available that didn't use propane as a propellant. Our large cans use nitrogen. So just be very careful. We probably should, when we're talking about DIY stuff, we need to add that in there.
Somewhere, somehow. Yeah, well, I'll rely on you to do that. I would not use propane as a propellant in my house, ever.
Well, most of the industry
Very,
unfortunately. That was what was alarming to us. We never even thought about it until we had a problem. And then we tried to solve the problem, and the only solution to the problem we had is don't use little cans anymore.
Okay.
yeah, very common. Very common.
Yep. Just an FYI, if you're doing work at your own home or we're showing work that we want to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take that. So that said, I guess there is one thing that I would add, and Dwight also passed that around. I guess Essex is going to do stuff at the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds again this year. Dwight, did you want to mention anything about that?
Well, there's that. As some of you know, that Essex and a few of the other energy committees got together last year, and they had a fairly successful booth. I think they had 400 contacts, is the number that I heard, over the week of the fair. They had a booth. They would like to man that booth on a greater scale basis, more hours. So they're looking for volunteers. If anybody's
That's the actual fair week. That's the actual fair week, right?
Correct. It's in conjunction with the Champlain Valley Fair.
Gotcha. It's not just the fairgrounds.
Yeah, I think they get the space donated by the fairgrounds, if I remember right. If not, if we get more energy committees involved, then it's less of a cost per energy committee. The other thing that goes along with that is Ann Randa from CCRPC, Chittenden County Regional Planning Commission, who I work with quite a bit, was looking to update the mailing list for the energy committees where all this stuff comes out of. And she asked me I asked her for the list that we had, and Sandy Wilmot's still on there, and there's like 3 of us, myself, Michael, and I think Steve is on there. But she asked for the rest of you, but I didn't commit to giving her your email addresses because I'm not going to do that. So if anybody doesn't want their email given to Chittenden County Regional Planning Commission for a newsletter sort of email sort of thing, let me know. And if you have a different email than the one that is on our mailing list, please let me know.
Dwight, I'm sorry, I missed where you were talking about the Champlain Valley Fair. I was copying links and pasting them.
Okay. Last year, several of the energy committees got together and ran a booth at the Chittenden County Champlain Valley Fair. They're looking to expand that. It was fairly successful. They had 400 contacts. They're looking to expand that and are looking for volunteers to volunteers.
And when is that?
It's the week of the fair, which I believe is the last week of rolling.
It goes into the last weekend of the fair is Labor Day weekend
Okay.
every year.
So the end of the summer, Labor Day
Right.
weekend. Okay, thanks.
It's the week
Not a-
before and into Labor Day weekend. I think it's 10 days that they run.
Not
And
a
when
big
do they
fair
need
guy, so
when do they need to have volunteers by? Do you know?
they're gonna one of the reasons they're trying to update the mailing list is to try to see who's volunteering.
Okay.
I don't think we want to take the lead. Essex has taken the lead on it as far as it's their home ground. Let them take the lead on it, and then if you want to volunteer your time, we want to take that
Now,
up later once there's more
do I
information.
am I remembering correctly that you either get free or some kind of special admission deal
I
if
think
you're
you get I think you get free ticket and free parking. I don't remember exactly what they were able to negotiate last year, but that's the usual standard. If you're working a booth if you're volunteering your time at a booth, you get free admittance and free parking.
Yeah, I haven't been to the fair yet. So
well, it's not like it used to be.
yeah,
I tend not to like that, so I don't
I
go.
haven't gone. So
Yeah, I haven't been going for years. Used to actually used to actually be a little bit like a county fair. Now it's God only knows what it really is. But okay, I don't know if there's anything else we've got on there.
New estimate.
So
The new estimate for um, the thing where the moon covers up the sun.
eclipse.
The eclipse, yeah, that's it. It's 200,000 people, so just make sure you're prepared.
Oh yeah, I know it. God, 200,000, huh?
I have friends coming from Truckee, California, Virginia, and Massachusetts.
Well,
if
we cut
anyone,
ours off. What's that, Dory?
oh, I was saying if anyone needs a place to sleep, I can rent out my futon.
There you go. I think we're all set.
Not you guys, your friends or whatever.
No, I know. Everybody that's I did hear from one guy who seemed to be kind of fishing, and when I said we already had guests, I didn't hear from him back again. So I don't know if I'm
Let them know. I have a futon. Low price of,
low price. Gotcha.
1 month's rent.
One more. There you go. Listen, you could get it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we got to deal with in this little deal? Okay. Any agenda items for next week that we don't have as to-do items on our list already? Anything we want to be talking about?
Hopefully next month there's an update on the MERP program and when we'll get our buildings audited.
Great.
So I hope to have a status update for next meeting.
Yeah, sounds good. Anything else we want to have? I think it's MERP with a P.
With a P. Thanks.
Yep. Don't forget the P on the MERP. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Anybody hungry? Dwight can't be hungry. He already had dinner.
I just ate my dinner.
There you go. Sounds good. Hearing nothing. Do I hear a move to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.